Chapter 38. When last we left off, Charles had pulled the clunker card, so all the Dewey Decimal rooms are closed. And Haley
Until 10 a.m.
has just gone off to bed. Very interesting, said Akimi, looking through the cafe's glass walls into the rotunda reading room. What? Said Miguel. I think Clarence just dropped off our books. Kyle pushed back from the table. He could see the shadowy figure of the bulky security guard slinking away from the round desk. He left behind a stack of books. Come on, he said. Let's go see what sort of inspirational reading Dr. Zinchenko has selected for us. What about those guys? Said Miguel, pointing to where Charles and Andrew were finishing their dessert. Kyle was torn. On one hand, he didn't want to give away the bonus that his team had received, thanks to their penalty. On the other hand, he didn't want people saying he and his friends won because Mr. Lemoncello gave them an extra clue. He came up with a compromise. Hey, Charles, Andrew, we're going to grab some books to read to kill the time till tomorrow morning. You guys might want to do the same thing. No, thanks, Charles stood up. We have this thing figured out. In fact, I think Mr. Lemoncello steered us toward the clunker card so we would win too easily. I mean, how would it look if we escaped from the library in less than 24 hours? Bad, said Andrew. Real bad. Does Charles have this thing figured out?
No.
Yes.
He's pretending like he's cool, calm, and collected. Indeed, said Charles. I suspect nobody would buy Lemoncello games anymore if we showed them how easy they are to win. Anyway, we're going to go upstairs, and I'm going to give Andrew a tour of my private suite. Would any of you like to join us? No thanks, said Akimi. Suit yourselves. Oh, by the way, Mr. Lemoncello has a real video game console upstairs. Oh, Kyle felt his mouth going dry. It's top of the line. It plays real games, not just educational stuff. Care to join us, Keeley? We're going to play Squirrel Squad 6, the new edition. According to the game box, it won't be released until December. Oh, Kyle felt his forehead sweating. His palms were moist. His fingers were twitchy. Oh, he was itching to toggle the joystick. But after the inside of his mouth turned to sandpaper, he said, no thanks, Charles. We're just gonna, read. What does Kyle really want to do?
Play video games.
He really wants to play video games, but what's he gonna do? Read. What kind of books does he have to read again?
Fiction.
He has to read fiction because all of the Dewey Decimal nonfiction rooms are closed until 10 a.m. tomorrow.
Non-fiction.
After Charles and Andrew headed to the third floor to play what was the most awesome version of Mr. Lemoncello's most awesome video game ever, if Charles Chiltington was telling the truth, Kyle and his teammates hurried to see what books were waiting for them in the librarian's table. What would you do? Would you rather go and play the latest video game or read a really cool inspirational book?
Neither. Play video games. Neither.
Well, they found 7 different versions of the same book, The Complete Sherlock Holmes. One was a leather-bound edition, one was a tattered paperback, 3 were hardcovers, but they had different illustrations on the front. One was a bigger kind of paperback with lots of essays. And then the 7th was an e-reader with only one title loaded onto it. I think Mr. Lemoncello wants us to start a book club, said Sierra. What do you mean, said Kyle. Where we all read the same book and then we get together and talk about it. Talk about our opinions. Ooh, that's fun, said Miguel. We have a book group at school. Are you in it, asked Sierra? Yeah. Maybe you'd like to join sometime? I would, thank you, Miguel. Akimi cleared her throat. Now what, she said to Kyle. Everybody grabbed a copy of the Sherlock Holmes book. Nobody went for the e-reader. Upstairs on the 3rd floor, Haley tiptoed around the Lemoncello mobilia room. Remember, Haley said she was going to go to bed early, didn't she?
She's joking.
When she had visited the mini museum early, she hadn't really looked around. Now she hoped to find another book from the memorable Reads display. She was looking for a little golden book called Baby Mother Goose Patty Cake. It could have been something like Mr. Lemoncello's read, or had read to him when he was a little boy. Haley made her way past the other stacks of boxes through the doorway into what looked like a recreation of Mr. Lemoncello's childhood bedroom. It was a cramped space with 2 bunk beds that he shared with his brothers. Next to one of the lower bunks was a bookcase made out of plastic milk crates. There it was, filled with 3 other dozen skinny hardcover picture books. Haley pried open the book. Out plopped a 4x4 car.
Crawled.
Okay, we got our next clue.
I'm gonna say that one's
She
crawled.
quickly folded it in half and stuffed it inside her sneaker with the bandits clue. So even though Haley, Charles, and Andrew are supposedly a team, are they all sharing their clues with each other?
No.
Now she was pretty certain that bandits had at one time or another crawled in. Crawled? Crawling baby with the word ED. Bandits crawled in. And a bandit, remember, is a... What's a bandit?
Bad guy.
A bad guy or a thief. Bandits had crawled in back when it used to be a bank. The silhouette of Indiana didn't represent the Indianapolis 500. Instead, it stood for INN. That's the abbreviation for Indiana, the Hoosier State. First thing when the doors opened in the morning, she was going to search through the Dewey Decimal Rooms to find her a clue that would tell her exactly how and where had the bandits crawled in. A tunnel? An air vent? A secret passageway on the 1st, 2nd, or 3rd floor? Maybe between the bank and the old office building behind it? There was only one thing Haley was certain of. They didn't crawl through the book return slot.